In this video, I want to talk about 4 things that you can do right now to help yourself improve as a filmmaker. I've always been looking for ways to improve my work, and recently I've been thinking about the YouTube videos that I've been watching on how to improve my films. And I've also been thinking about the movies that I've been watching and what other directors do and lessons that I can take from them and apply to my own films. And, over the years, I've come across some great interviews, some essays, posts on the process of filmmaking, and they've all been incredibly inspiring. So I just wanted to mention 4 things that you need to look out for if you want to improve your work and make your films even better. Number 1, shallow depth of field. Ever since the DSLR revolution, we all remember the Canon 5D Mark II. When it came out, what a game changer that camera was, right? Low-budget indie filmmakers have been obsessed with bokeh, and I get it because when I was coming up, I was using old 1/3 inch CCD chip cameras, and if you ever used those cameras, you know that shallow depth of field was very difficult to achieve, and this look with all this bokeh and everything falling off in the background really lent a sense of cinematic professionalism to your footage. But it can be overused today, especially when depth of field doesn't serve your story. But if the technique does make sense for your film and your story, it can be very powerful. To see an example of how shallow depth of field can be done right in service of the story, check out this video from Nerdwriter, which I'm going to link to in the description below, entitled "One Reason The Handmaid's Tale Won Emmy's Best Drama." Shooting everything at f1.2 when actors are constantly falling in and out of focus doesn't work for every story. So, don't be afraid to stop down and let the viewers see the world that your characters inhabit. Environment can be just as important as the characters themselves. Think Jaws or No Country for Old Men. In fact, many of the greatest directors constantly use a deeper depth of field. Even the most casual of movie fans are going to place Steven Spielberg towards the top of the list of world's greatest directors. And he often uses a deeper depth of field. And if you want to see some of his work in action and go through some of that to understand why he doesn't shoot wide open all the time, there's a video here from Wolf Crow entitled "Why Steven Spielberg Avoids a Wide Open Aperture." Check it out. There's a link to it in the description. Number 2, you want to be careful of lighting for coverage rather than lighting for the moment. To save time and allow for multiple camera angles where you are not having to switch a lot around after each camera setup, filmmakers will sometimes flood a scene with soft overhead light. This is great for your schedule, keeps things moving faster, you get a lot of camera setups in during the day, but it can result in a flatter look when everything is visible but nothing has shape. We see this a lot in big budget action features today when they have to do a lot of VFX work in post. So you want to light for the specific angle. Move the camera, move the lights, embrace negative fill, look for ways to create contrast. Number 3, camera movement. Gimbals and drones, they've made camera movement easy and super smooth, but it can easily become aimless without intention and forethought. Constant floaty movement that doesn't follow an emotional beat or have a clear beginning, middle, and end. So make sure any camera movement is motivated. Don't move the camera just to move the camera. Know exactly where the camera starts and stops and why. And if you are really wanting to elevate your game even further, look for ways you can block your actors to land in certain positions as the camera moves to create a variety of compositions within a single shot. For inspiration, look at this sequence from The Fabelmans. The camera moves, but with deliberate intention, constantly landing and reframing the shot in a variety of compositions that make perfect sense for the characters in the scene. And a 4th thing to consider is your coverage. Memory cards have made it easy to shoot a ton of coverage, and then you can go into post and find the scene in the edit. This can be, but not always, the sign of insecure directors, filmmakers who aren't quite sure exactly what they want or what they need for the film, and so they just play it safe and they just shoot everything and they just keep the cameras rolling. This can lead to wasted time, bloated schedules, and a cast and crew who can grow impatient quickly and ultimately lose morale. So when you're thinking about coverage, be disciplined in your pre-production work. Look to other filmmakers you admire. Use tools like Shot Deck to help you visualize camera placement, lens choice, framing. Make all of those selections ahead of time. Be confident and know what you want and why you need it. Sure, I know things will certainly change when you get to set. Unforeseen obstacles are always going to pop up, but if you've done the prep work and you understand the purpose of the scene and what the story needs, you're going to find a workaround. Basically, to sum up, choose intentionality. Whether it's your f-stop, your lighting setups, camera movements, actor blocking, be intentional about what you're doing. I hope this has been helpful for you. As always, you can see everything that I'm doing at linktree.com/Clint Till. Be sure to check out these other videos that I've referenced. The links to those are in the description. Thanks so much for watching.